Hey, what's going on, everybody? For those of you who are new to the channel here, welcome to Martin's Family Kitchen. For those of you who are returning guests, welcome back. What we have for you in today's video is going to be the perfectly cooked ribeye steak. Everybody has a grill at home for the most part, but people tend to overthink cooking their steaks. We're going to simplify everything for you, make it super easy. We only need a few things. We need a steak, we need some salt, pepper, and garlic, and we need a grill. Let's get right into it. All right, guys, so today we went to the butcher shop and we picked ourselves up a fresh USDA prime ribeye, okay? This is a 16-ounce steak, so it's just about a pound. So we're gonna go ahead and get that bad boy open here. We're gonna go ahead and get it seasoned. I'm not saying this is the right or the wrong way to do it. This is just the way that I prefer to do it. A lot of people talk about marinating their steaks. I actually prefer to use a dry rub. It kind of seems to absorb into the meat a little bit better, whereas the wet marinades, people tend to soak them too long and it ends up making your meat too tough at the end of your cook. Also, because of the composition of these steaks, it can only soak up to about 1/8 of an inch as far as I'm aware of that, that wet marinade. So if you soak it beyond an hour, it's not really doing you any good. So what I like to do is I like to use a dry rub. And simply what I have here is 1 cup of salt, 1 cup of granulated garlic, and 1 cup of coarse ground pepper. And that's what I like to use. So we're gonna go ahead and get this out here and get it on the plate. And we're gonna get it seasoned up. Make sure you're very liberal with your seasonings. This meat can take a lot of seasoning here. So we're gonna go ahead and get that coated up good. Make sure we get the sides. All right, guys, so we got everything seasoned up just how we want it. We're gonna go ahead and let this sit out for about an hour before we throw it on the grill. Reason being, I like to get my steaks a little bit closer to cooking temp, just so I have a little bit more control over the meat whenever I have it on the grill, so I don't overcook it. Kind of like to have it a little bit closer to final cook temp. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let this steak sit for an hour with all the seasonings on. About 45 minutes from now, we're gonna go ahead and fire up the grill, let it run for about 10 to 15 minutes and get it as hot as possible. Then we're gonna go ahead and throw our steak on. All right, we're back. It's been about 1 hour. Our 16-ounce ribeye has been sitting out at room temperature with the salt, the pepper, and the granulated garlic on it. We started up the grill about 10 to 15 minutes ago to get up to temp. We're looking at about 350 to 400 degrees out there. So I'm gonna break this down real quick for you on the process and what we're gonna do. We're gonna put our steak on the grill. We're gonna put it on diagonal. And we're gonna let it sit for 2 minutes. After that 2 minutes is up, we're gonna give it a quarter turn. Let it sit for another 2 minutes. After those 2 minutes are done, we're gonna flip it over on the other side and do the exact same process. 2 minutes, quarter turn, 2 minutes. Then we're gonna get our steak off the grill. We're gonna get it here on the cutting board. We're gonna put a pat of butter on it. It's not essential, but it's something that I like to do. It's something to dip your steak in also as well with all that juice from the melted butter on top. But we're gonna let that sit on the cutting board for about 5 minutes to rest. And what that's gonna allow the steak to do, it's gonna allow all the juices from inside that steak to redistribute back in through the meat, so that when you cut it open, the juice is inside of the meat and it's not spilling all out over onto your plate or your cutting board or whatever you're using. So let's get this bad boy on the grill and we'll take a look at it. All right, guys, the grill is sitting at about 350 to 375 degrees right now. So we're gonna go ahead and throw this steak on the grill here for 2 minutes before we give it our quarter turn. So let's get it on for 2 minutes here. Get a nice sear on that side. We're gonna give it 2 minutes. Okay, guys, that's our 2 minute mark. Let's go ahead and get that quarter turn. So we're basically just gonna turn it diagonal the opposite direction. I'm gonna go ahead and press that down, get a nice sear on there. Let it sit for another 2 minutes before we go ahead and flip it over. Okay, guys, we're at our 2 minute mark, so we're go ahead and ready to flip again. We have a total of 4 minutes here. We're gonna go ahead and give it a flip, get it over here. Let it sit for another 2 minutes. All right, guys, and we're coming into the home stretch. We're getting ready to finish up our last 2 minutes of the cook here. So we're gonna go ahead and give it a quarter turn. After these 2 minutes are up, we're gonna go ahead and get it inside. Okay, guys, we got our steak back inside here. We got our pat of butter on top. There's one final touch that I like to add to my steaks before I let it start resting for 5 minutes. It's the Pit Boss Original Chop House Steak Rub. And I like to just get a little bit of that on top here, along with the butter. Just kind of add a little bit more flavor to that steak. Typically we don't use ketchup or steak sauce here at my house. We typically just eat our steaks as is. So we like to have a lot of flavor packed in there. So we got our timer set for 5 minutes. We're gonna let this rest. These steaks continue to cook internally during this rest period as well. So what we're shooting for is a 135 to 145 internal temperature on this steak for a nice medium to medium rare. And what I'm gonna check it with after the rest period's over is our Thermo Pro Plus internal thermometer. Just got it in the mail not too long ago, so we're gonna give that a shot. We're gonna give this 5 minutes to sit and we'll be ready to go. All right, guys, so our 5 minute rest period is complete. We're gonna go ahead and get the thermometer open here. We're gonna go ahead and give her a look inside, see what we got internal. We're sitting at 134, 135 is right where we want to be for the nice medium rare to medium texture on the inside. Let's go ahead and pop that out and let's go ahead and slice her up. See how she looks. Guys, if this isn't a thing of beauty, I don't know what is. Let me just take a little piece out of here to show you guys. As you can see, our steak is the perfect medium to medium rare. Got a lot of juice in there. And of course, slicing up the steak today, I'm using the Cooking Guild's 8-inch Master Shifu knife. This is hand forged. This knife is absolutely incredible. I use this for anything in the kitchen. I use it to slice my steaks. I use it to slice my veggies. I'll leave a link down below in the description so you guys can go ahead and check it out. I'll also leave a link below for this Thermo Pro Plus internal thermometer. I'll leave a link below as well to that. So you can go ahead and check out their products. They have a number of products for internal thermometers. Anyone who's cooking has to have one. It's absolutely essential, just as well as this Cooking Guild knife. And like I said, I'll leave a link in the description below. Okay, so we got our steak sliced up, so now the last thing to do is just give her a taste. Perfect every single time. Nothing better than that melted butter on top there to dip this steak in. It really mixes well together with this Pit Boss rub. And once again, that is the Chop House Steak Rub by Pit Boss. Love that on steak. And as you can see, guys, this thing is just falling apart. Our fat has rendered down perfectly to a nice, soft, buttery consistency, which is exactly what we wanted. So that's it, guys. That's the perfect steak. Quick rundown. Got it seasoned up, sat it out for an hour at room temperature to get it close to the final cooking temp. Got the grill fired up, got it to around 350 to 375. Threw our steak on, 2 minutes, quarter turn, 2 minutes, flip her over, same thing. Total of 8 minutes to cook these steaks, and it's absolutely perfect every single time, I promise you. If you guys liked today's video, go ahead and give a like. And subscribe to the channel as well if you'd be so kind. Leave a comment below of any videos you'd like to see in the near future. Thanks for stopping by.